All right. Did it pop up? Oh, meeting is being recorded.
Yes,
got it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Welcome everybody to our incentive training.
We're talking.
Yeah, we're recording now.
We're
So
talking to you too.
thank you for if you're obviously watching the recording. So thanks for hopping on and checking this out. So we're just going to be doing the training, going through a PowerPoint presentation. And we've got some ladies here who are live with us too. So you'll probably hear some like back and forth question answer a little bit later on, but we're going to get started. And Karen has made a beautiful PowerPoint. So we'll get started with our video.
All right. So everyone who's here, welcome. Originally, I was planning on having this in front of me, but now we got PowerPoint and it's just all over the place. Oopsie, there we go.
Admit. Okay.
Admit the cat lady. There we go. Okay. So yeah, if you see it pop up at the top and tell me
If someone
Carrie, yeah, this is going to be like admit.
people here, I'll look for that.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so there we go. Welcome. So Beth and I, while on the cruise, while sun tanning in Alaska, surrounded by mountains, we're like, let's do like a team meeting. She said, like, for my team. And I'm like, I'm only 2 hours and 45 minutes away. Sure, like let's do this. We get to hang out more. All right, awesome. So we had set this up, and I'm very happy to meet all of you. Some of you have seen on the screen before, some of you I'm just meeting for the first time. So happy to be here. So Beth and I met through a boot camp. Weren't for Sensi, we would not
Even know each
have
other.
this. I know, yeah, goosebumps again. But we were on the Alaska cruise together. Obviously met some of you in SFR, who are in SFR, all of that kind of stuff. We just keep finding each other everywhere, which is amazing. And then we spent, her and her husband adopted me on the trip. He was husband number one.
Yeah.
Karen
had-
wifey.
Karen had 3 husbands.
Yeah.
On the trip.
Probably
Well,
wrong.
maybe more, but
Yeah. Like, they're normally all gay husbands, but I had some of those too. We're good. I had so many brother husbands in SFR. So it was good. So we wanted to put this together to show every single one of you that whether you've just started, like someone wonderful right here, or you've been around for a while, like Beth or myself, it is absolutely possible to earn a trip, especially this time.
one.
Holy
Yes.
cow.
Yeah.
When I saw the requirements for this trip incentive, I was like,
What?
whoa. Like,
Mhm.
this was unreal because the 1,250 sponsored points, like for Alaska, it was 4,500
Mhm. Just for level 1.
just for level one.
Level
for one
well,
person.
yeah.
Or for level two,
Earning
sorry,
for one.
for a cruise for one person. So and like
They've literally sliced the sponsoring points in half.
in a quarter.
In a quarter?
Wasn't it
Yeah.
4,500 for one person?
Yeah, mine was 6, I think, that I
Yeah,
needed.
something
Yeah.
like it was something big.
I don't see where people can come on anymore.
Oh,
There aren't any. There's
there's 6 participants. Hello, everybody who's watching at home. I don't want to click on this again
Okay,
because that's where I
there,
screwed it up
that
last
went
time.
away. So there, now that I see it again.
Okay,
There.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so as I'm sure you are possibly already aware, if you have checked out the incentive tab, we have, oh, there we go. Here's your phone for the chat.
Oh, okay.
This is that's why I was like, that way you can do chat. If you can't tell, this is our first time doing this. We have a lot of technology.
We have
happening.
like 4.
We have a lot of technology happening. So there are 4 awesome options for the incentive trip for this year. Very, very exciting. Has anyone decided like what they want to try to shoot for?
Mexico.
Mhm.
There you go. Anyone else?
Mexico or the cruise.
Mexico or the cruise?
Because I-
Oh, there you go. Come to Canada. You have to try poutine. You just have to.
Sure, try it.
It's
Poutine.
French fries
Oh,
with
yeah,
cheese
they're
curds
good.
and gravy.
They're good.
It's like mashed potatoes on French fries, like,
Yeah.
but with cheese. When we stopped in Victoria, BC on the Alaska cruise, I was like, you need to have a Caesar, not the salad, the beverage. It's a Canadian Bloody Mary, that's what we call it. If you like seafood and you like Bloody Marys, you will be fine with the Caesar. They're 10 steps above a Bloody Mary. Well, none for you then. None for you then. But we did have a Caesar and a poutine, and I was like, you've officially been to Canada. Let's go. So yes, so we're gonna do a quick little. Oh. There should be Sensi trip music.
Right.
This is a different one. It's still a Royal Caribbean, but it is a different one than we were on.
Mhm. This is actually a nicer ship than the one we were on, I think. Yeah, this looks way bougier than the ship we were on. I mean, it was a nice ship.
As long as I can still get all you need escargot, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Girl.
This is where SFR, we were so confused. We're like, wait, where are we going? They used to
We
go
are
a lot of
going
different places.
Everywhere.
They haven't done a pick your trip in many, many, many years.
Well, we kind of had it with the Disney one that you could do the adults or the kids.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a, do you want to take your children or not?
No. There. No. Oh, cool.
It's like the same music
Every single time. It's the only licensed music we're licensed to use. I love it. Oh, see, that looked like Montreal smoked meat right there. That's Quebec. If you do take the Quebec trip, you need to try Montreal smoked meat. So good. There we go. So whether it's the travel dates that line up with your schedule best, or it is, you know, what you want out of a trip and where you want to go. My one thing I encourage you to do is to pick somewhere you wouldn't normally go. Because for me, when we went to Alaska, I was like, how would I go to Alaska? You're taking me to Alaska in the middle of the summer. Like, I want to like see the
Lay out.
sunshine and get a tan. And funny enough, we ended up being able to do that in Alaska.
Mhm.
Like
We had
the best weather,
abnormal weather though.
abnormally amazing weather. Like it
Mhm.
was
Like the universe knew, since he hasn't had an incentive trip into almost 3 years,
Yeah.
and they're like, because I knew people going on the exact same cruise or a similar cruise the week later. Rained every day. They
Yeah.
didn't see the sun the entire week. We never
Yeah.
had rain once.
I met
And
someone
it
who
was
went,
it was like sunny and 70 every day.
yeah, I met someone who went like I left of this stand was all from Alaska.
Yeah.
I met someone on the weekend who did the same cruise in May and they had snow. Like just crazy the difference of like less than 2 months. Okay. Let me click on here.
There we go.
All right, so here we go. So we always have a level 1 with the incentive trip that essentially should level 2 or 3, essentially the trip not happen. You still get free registration to SFR, which is amazing.
And a
That's
lot of
big
people in
chunk
here
of
are
your
in that
cost.
this year.
There you go. Who attended SFR this year? Amazing. Love it. What did you think?
Loved it.
Loved it. Was it your first SFR? I got him again. Love it. Amazing. So it was only my second SFR, like in-person SFR. My first one was 2019 Austin, because I had just started like late 2017. So 2018 was California. I wish I could have gone. It was at Disney. It just wasn't at a place to have extra spending money. Kind of started. Actually, at that point, I hadn't even started taking my business seriously. So I just wasn't there yet. But this is great because I'm like, I'm gonna have to pay for SFR registration this year. I'm out of vouchers.
I know, me too.
I'm like, I'm out of free vouchers. Like, darn it. So I have to actually pay. So this takes up a big chunk. So I know that they were talking to us on the leader call on Monday and, you know, just saying like how they set up the incentive trips and all this stuff. And like, obviously the activities that you do within a trip is what like pays for that trip, like the extra revenue, income generated and that kind of stuff. But like, should you miss hitting the trip for whatever reason, whether it's sponsoring points or whatever it is, the benefit you will see in terms of your business is so huge. Like the trip, the points, the whatever is just the icing on the cake. Like the trip is that extra little bonus, but the amount that your business grows just from doing these activities is what is like really your reward, because like that's the cash in your pockets, right? That's your business growing. That's you setting yourself up even better for next year's incentive trip. So I like to make sure that people know that hey, even if you don't reach it this year, you're setting yourself up. Like I tried for Reach for the Beach when I went to my first world tour and I was like, reach for the beach, let's do this. I'm reaching for the beach. didn't even get close, like didn't even understand how to make an incentive trip plan, didn't even really understand how to get points, but I was going to Mexico. I was not even close to Mexico. But yeah, around
Business
came,
grew.
yeah, around came the Marco Island incentive trip, and then things were different, and that we're going to talk about. on
And
a
we had
different
kind of
slide.
talked about earlier too, like if you're doing all of the actionable things that you need to do in your business, you're sponsoring, you're sharing, you're doing, you're sponsoring the 3 legs of success.
Yeah.
The incentive trip will come naturally. And you'll hear so many people say when they earn their first incentive trip, they're like, I didn't even know I earned it. Like, I didn't even know I was close. Like, because that's kind of how I was when I earned my first one. I was like, wait a minute, what is this? I knew I was getting close for me, but I had no idea I was getting close for my husband, and I didn't understand it. And I'm going to point on the next level. I'm going to point that out. One of the main things I didn't even understand when I earned my first one. And it was like eye-opening to me. And I think that's why I thought I wasn't going to earn it, but then I really, in fact, did. But yeah, you do all these things. And then, like she said, the incentive is going to be an icing on the cake for your business because you're doing all the things to build it up. And those things in turn earn you the trip.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So that is level 1. Next, let's talk about level 2. This includes a trip for one of your choice. Keep in mind that it does go, you will get the people who have the most points will get to choose first. So, I mean, it's one thing, like get yourself to that, but I have some backup. Like I personally have them all ranked. Like this one, if not this one, if not this one, if not that one.
And I'm happy to
But-
hear all the, like, I'm surprised to hear Canada and like everybody's got something different. So at first I was like, oh, Mexico's going to fill up right away. Not necessarily. Like everybody wants different things. So I
Yeah.
think that that'll be really fun.
Yeah, so I know the one thing that Beth was going to say, so for a trip for one, it is 25,000 points. I know that sounds like a lot, but once we break it down, and I'm big on breaking down goals into little bite-sized chunks, once you break it down,
And that's
It's
what we're
not
going to
that
do. We're going to
it's not
break it
that bad.
down.
That's what we're going to do with our worksheets.
Mhm.
And then that includes 1,250 sponsoring points. And like we said, for the last incentive, I'm pretty sure it was 4,500.
I'm pretty sure it was too.
And like, I know everybody's like, no, sponsoring points are the hard ones. It's only the hard ones because those are the ones that are outside of your control,
Mhm.
right? Like you have to depend on somebody else to do what they set out to do in order for you to get those points. That's the only reason why it was hard, is because like they're not in your control. Everything else is in your control within a certain amount of degree. So
But
Um,
let me point out
yes.
that thing. So when I wasn't sure I knew I earned for one, but I didn't think I was going to earn for two, because I thought when you're looking at this and it says 25,000 points includes 1,250 required sponsoring points, I thought that meant in addition to the 25, you have to remember 1,250 points are in the 25. Okay, that's 25 is cumulative. Okay, I thought that was on top of the 25. So it was like even more. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I already did it, because I just thought I needed way more sponsoring points and additional points total. So you just have to realize that's in there already included, because I think that can be a little misleading at first, like if it's your first incentive.
yeah, it's like I need
So-
25 of this. And before, I
before.
mean, it was like an extra like 5,000
And if you
points on that.
break that down quick, that's sponsoring. I mean, sponsor 2 people and certify them.
You're well over
You're
that.
over the sponsoring points. 2 people. And I mean, we'll get into this in more detail, or sponsor 1 new person, certify them. And if you had somebody join in the past, get them certified. There's your 250.
Or if you
like-
have 5 people already on your team who aren't certified
Yeah.
yet and they certified, boom, you've got it.
Yeah.
So
So
like there's lots of ways.
this is,
So you get 200. Well, we're gonna get
we'll get into that.
We're gonna get into the actual breakdown of it. I was just getting ahead of myself.
I know. I gotta
And
catch
then
myself
level
too.
3, we've been getting ahead of ourselves all day. Level 3 is 45,000 points, including 2,500 sponsoring points, which is minimal compared to previous incentives, which is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, I
And
think
again,
it
like
was
Beth said,
6.
that's inclusive. So of the 45,000, just 2,500 needs to be sponsored. You could have 40,000 sponsoring points and like 5,000 other points. I don't know
Yeah,
how you would do
and-
that. I don't know how you would do that, but like whatever sponsoring points you get helps to get you to that 45,000, but you just need a minimum of 2,500.
But I look at
within
this
it.
still and I say to myself, yeah, I love that 2,500 is only required, but I know I'm going to reach for more than that in sponsoring, because that means
That's a lot
that's
to
a
do on your
lot to
own.
sell.
That's a lot
That's
to
a
do on your
lot to
own.
sell. because remember, 1 point is PRV, which we're gonna get into, but if I do the bare minimum for my sponsoring, I mean, there's other ways you can get points, which we'll talk about too, but in reality, that's a lot of PRV. So if I can, 1,000 points for sponsoring someone and certifying them, or someone moving to the next level in a promotion, is maybe going to be even easier than me selling an additional 1,000,
Yeah.
when you compare it apples to apples. So that's something to think about too.
Yeah, for sure. Like say, for
Because
example,
when
you
you
have
break
a
it down.
party with a host, they have 1,000 PRV party and you're like, yes, I have 1,000 points for me. Well, guess what? If they decide to join and you flip that party to them, that is still 1,000 points for you.
Mhm.
And they get 1,000 points. And then you've got a certified consultant and they're set up for success and possibly going to hit lead,
Mhm.
star, superstar, all of those things.
Which
right?
will then in turn help you too.
Yeah, so I know that sometimes it's that hesitation where like we just look at what's right in front of us and like, okay, I just need to get these points. But you still gotta remember the big picture with everything, just like we normally do all of the time with our businesses. Okay, so how to qualify. So trip incentive started on August 1st and goes until January 31st. That is the deadline for all of the things. So your people promoting, you bring people in, like all of the things are within that 6 months. Like, for example, the last incentive that we had, as long as you sign somebody up for club in August or in July, but it could process in August. And like at the beginning of it, the first break that we had, your person could have joined the month before. And like, so there was some variation with it. This one is right within that 6 months. So it's that hardcore 6 month period.
And why they do it in this 6 month period is because this is our busy time. So thank you, Sensi, for giving us the
Yeah.
busy time when everybody wants to buy in the fall and winter. I mean, we all know the spring and summer is slower than fall and winter.
Mhm.
So this is why it's our heavy incentive period. I just was gonna say something else, but it escaped me.
That's okay.
It'll come
to you.
back.
It'll come back. It'll be back. All right. So first step, you get 1 point for every single PRV you sell. So you sell 2,000 PRV in a month, get 200
2,000
points. You sell 500, you get 500 points. Sell 1,000, you get 1,000, so on and so forth.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. Think we got that one?
That's every month,
Every month from August until the end of September.
end of September.
Or, I'm sorry, end of January.
Okay.
Why did I say September? End of January.
You got 2 months to do this.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
one incentive period, remember they ended us in December.
We went July to December.
July to December, that was rough. They changed that because December people, it's a short month,
Yeah.
Yeah,
shorter month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not shorter, I guess, but it feels like it because of Christmas.
right.
Because after that Christmas cutoff, people aren't like thinking about buying Sensi as
No.
much
Our
after.
Canadian, our Christmas cutoff is like a week earlier.
Yeah.
Because we have like a 9-day month in December.
Yeah, because usually if you're new, our Christmas cutoff is usually December 15th.
Ours is like
To
the
get
9th.
things by Christmas. So then
Okay,
December,
yeah.
your month is short in
Right.
Sensi world because
Right.
people aren't thinking about buying Sensi after December 15th as
Well,
much.
Not automatic.
Well,
thinking,
but
but
we have
you
bring
can make
back-
them think about
You
it.
can make them think
You
about it.
can make
but
them
it's-
think about it.
But I'm glad we have January. I'm just
Yeah,
saying that.
exactly.
Yeah, to bring back my bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they did that 2 times a year.
Mhm,
Yeah.
we do.
So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. So next up with your PRV is PRV consistency. So just for getting 1,000 PRV in 5 of the 6 months, doesn't have to be consecutive months. You could hit August, September, November, December, January. You could not hit August, then hit the other 5 months.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter which months, but 5 out of those 6, if you have 1,000 PRV, which means you already got at least 5,000 points from PRV, you get a bonus 2,500 points just from that. So I know personally, my goal every single month is a minimum of 2,000, but that's because I like that extra 5% bonus. If 1,000 PRV a month is a stretch for you, my encouragement is to shoot for 1,500, 1,750, 2,000, because then even if you don't reach that goal, you're still good on the 1,000.
Mhm.
Like reach for the stars, land where you do, and still hit that. And I guess it depends on what kind of personality you have. And like, if you're the type of person that you're cool to set lofty goals and be like, okay, I didn't hit that goal, but like I still got my 1,000. So like I'm good. But if you're the type of personality that if you set a lofty goal and you don't hit that, even if you still get your 1,000, you would be upset with yourself. Like do what works for you and your personality, right? I know me, I'm fine with lofty goals. I'm like, yeah, I didn't hit it, but we got this instead. But I have some teammates that they'll set their goal for 750 PRV and then hit 1,000. And that's just the way the brain works, right? So you know you best. set your goals based on what works for you. But I always encourage like a stretch target so that even if you don't reach that, you're like, well, I still got this and we're still good. So say if you did 5,000, so the 5 months of 1,000, you get 5,000 points just for that. Then this, you're already at 7,500 of the at least 18,000 that you need for
SFR
SFR,
registration.
which doesn't, and you're like almost halfway there
Mhm.
just from your PRV. And that's if you sold nothing in the 6 month and you only got exactly that 1,000. So once you break it down, it starts to like tackle. Next up,
That's an easy one.
this should be the easiest for everyone because let's be honest, World Tour is amazing. It kind of comes to you. You just got to make that commitment. So you got 500 points just for attending World Tour.
And I have to say, I don't remember them ever doing this in the past. They've never given us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is cool.
Yeah, because there's so many people that joined during the pandemic that have never experienced an in-person Sensi event. And for those of you who had your first SFR this year, and for those of you watching this, well, you know that like, once again, like everything in your body happens at events. Like that rush that you get, those products you get to smell, the pictures you take, all of that stuff. Like, I know personally for me, events is what like made me want more. Like, I want to keep doing this. I love it, especially having 2 a year. So every 6 months, you've got this like just boost in your body and your business and your soul that just like brings you forward. So they're very, very important. And I like that Sensi is really encouraging it through
Can you
this.
explain World Tour? I don't know who it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, that's
so
a great
SFR is there's one for each region and everybody goes there. World
What's
Tour is
SFR?
Sensi Family Reunion.
Okay.
It's
That's
our
what you
one
saw
big
all of us
convention.
do when we went to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
That's SFR.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then World Tour is they have multiple locations all over Canada, United States, Mexico, and they kind of come to you.
To
So
make it
no,
more
the last
convenient for
one,
locations.
there was, I mean, other than it
But
got
what
canceled
is
because of
it?
COVID.
So it's
It's a
an
mini-
introduction to
Mini
the,
convention.
so it's like
Okay.
it SFR is the intro to our fall winter season, and World Tour is an introduction to our spring summer season. So
Okay.
because spring summer is going to start in
So is it like
February.
something in every state or?
Yeah, usually multiple ones in each state.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So like our last World Tour for us was in Grand Rapids, which was great.
Oh,
But in
nice.
previous years, it was Detroit, it was Ohio, was the closest to us. So we just travel if we have to.
Okay.
But I mean, you could, if you were like,
And is it
hey,
like
I
a
want to
one-day
go to
thing?
Florida,
One
you
day.
can go to the
Mhm.
Florida one.
Just-
Like, you don't
just a
have
full
to
day.
go to whatever's geographically closest.
Yeah, you can go wherever you want. Yeah.
Cool.
You
I
go
mean, if
wherever
all of
you
us
want.
decide we want to take a trip to Florida in January, sure, let's
Yeah,
go to
like
Florida.
when
It's
we knew
like-
ours was going to be canceled in Canada, I was like, maybe I'll just go to one in the States, like
Does this happen in a particular month?
January, February.
Yeah,
It's usually,
and we're usually, I want to say Michigan is usually, we're usually January. I want to say we're usually January. And if we're February, it's like beginning of February,
Okay.
Yeah.
typically.
okay. So next up is personal promotion.
This is my favorite part. I love this one.
This is the favorite part, and this is one that a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on. However, I am here to tell you that you do not have to promote to big titles during incentive trip periods to earn the incentive.
Mhm.
Because the only one on that list that I hit during an incentive period was Star Consultant. The rest I hit Superstar
Outside.
Consultant in April or May. I hit Director the day before the next incentive period started. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I hit Star Director in April.
Mhm.
Hit all of them, but still earned 4 incentive trips in a row.
Mhm.
So a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't want to promote, like the new trip incentive starts tomorrow. It doesn't matter. If you're doing the things and doing the actions
Mhm.
and doing the things to grow your business, it'll happen anyways.
Mhm.
It'll happen anyways. You don't have to hit these. It's a big chunk of points, but you don't have to hit them. And these are, you get it for each one. So say if you're an essential consultant right now, just starting out and you promote to Star, you would get 1,000, 1,500 and 2,000 points. It's not like, you know, how with Sensational Start, you just get whatever the highest level was you hit to. These are like
Like all of it.
adds on.
Yeah.
So you would get 2, 3, 4, 4,500.
Now you can
points.
see why we say if you're a new consultant
Yeah.
and you're ready to grow and put your head down and go for it,
Yeah, like if
you can,
if
there's
you
people
have-
who have promoted to director during an incentive period from a certified consultant.
Yeah.
I mean,
5, 6, 7,
they-
8,
look at
9,
all
10,
that,
11,
like-
12. That's 1,250 of your 18,000 that you
Yeah.
get for SFR just right there. Like, and just from those things happening, you'd have even more, obviously. But those are a big chunk too, but not absolutely required. But I like to make sure that people know that it's different than sensational start. Because I know when I first started and I was like, okay, so I get all this level 1 stuff and level 2 stuff. And I was like,
Mhm.
no.
No.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
So then when this came around, I was like, okay, so if you go from this to this, you get 3,000 points. And it's like, no, you
No,
get
you
all of those. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So I know that was my thing that first threw me off in the beginning. So I like to share that.
And you earned your, go ahead with your
The-
question.
These points can be added to like earning the trip point.
Yeah,
This is
all of this
all
stuff
of
is
this.
all trip points.
Yep.
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 Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we earned Karen and I both earned our first trip. She was what did you start at as a
I
lead?
started out as a lead consultant going into the Marco Island incentive. I came out as a star consultant. So I only promoted one level and I earned the Marco Island trip for myself.
And when I earned for the Mediterranean cruise with my husband, I started as a lead and ended as a superstar. So I earned a trip for 2 being a superstar consultant. So we just want to show, because a lot of people see these incentive trips and they say, only
Oh,
the
I've never
superstar
heard of that.
directors earn them, only directors and above earn them. No,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who earn, everybody is eligible for this, everybody. And that's why Sensi makes the point structure the way that they do. They make it so everyone is able to earn, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I love the point structure because it's not just, oh, people at the top, not at all. That's not how it works. Everybody can earn this. And
Yeah.
like we said, if you're just starting off, you have a better chance, really, when you look at it. Yeah, exactly.
No, absolutely. Even if you have like customers or people in your network right now that like to travel or anything like
Mhm.
that, like you can go through and explain to them that like, listen, like right off the bat, like I know myself, the way I'm lined up for this fall, I'm not banking on any of these personal promotion points, but I was an essential consultant. I'd be like, all right, well, I'm gonna get certified. And I just need to bring on one person that'll get me to lead and then bring on one more person. And obviously with the other things required, you don't just bring on people and get points, like, you know, your normal requirements. And then hit star consultant. It is very, very probable for someone to start out brand new and within this season, go from essential to star consultant.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, all of it's possible, but that is very plausible to go, because a lot of people, the way that sensational start is set up is essentially to get you to star consultant in your first 70 days. Right? You gotta admit. Because you know, if you're getting that 3,000 PRV, two new active recruits, like that will get you star consultant if you do it all in the right timing, right? So it's bringing on those people, working with them to hit their goals, explaining what sensational start is, helping them get there if that's something they want. If they're hobbyists and only want the kit and only want to sell to themselves, that's their thing. Like I like to try to meet people where they're at for their goals, right? Like when we go through and make the trip plan, that's going to be based off of your conversations you're going to have with your teammates of what their goals are for the next 6 months. What do they want to do? So wherever you look at it, I'm like, okay, this person's certified. They could totally hit lead, but if that person's goal is not to bring anybody on, then they're not having recruiting conversations, then that's not a great thing for me to bank on and focus on, right? So you want to try to work with your team to meet them where their own goals are at. That's my like best advice through this is rather than setting goals for what you want people to do and then being upset when they don't reach it, work with them to find out what their goals are, encourage them to reach what they want, because that
in
makes
turn
their business successful. I know for me, like earning trips and stuff on my own was one thing, but like in Alaska, having one of my teammates on the trip with me, once again, was like the greatest experience ever. And we had other ones that earned the 2 years before, but couldn't go on them. So it's one thing, like I knew like when we got those Disney payouts, being stuck in Canada and a lot of people were off work and all that kind of stuff, like that saved a lot of like my teammates' families from like going into debt and that kind of stuff. And like that just meant a lot to me for them, but like having them actually there on the trip with me, because that was the only the second trip I was actually able to attend because of all the lockdown stuff. Like that was just such an amazing experience. So it's like your first one yourself is awesome. And then it becomes like, I want to help other people earn. Like when Beth asked me to come and do this, and I was like, yes, I want to see all these people earn and I want to know that I helped. Like,
yeah, there is nothing better than actually experiencing. That's why I was so happy this year with everybody who went to SFR, because to experience it with you guys
Mhm.
is another level, because I just couldn't wait to like see the look on their face when they walked into the
Yeah.
auditorium the first time. And like, so seeing you guys experience the stuff that we have experienced, to know how awesome it is. And then you can share that enjoyment, like that, like excitement with your teams. And then you never, like, cause I know everybody who went to SFR, like even Diane said, she's like, oh, I don't know about the trip because they're not going to give me 2 months in a row vacation. I'm like, oh, because of SFR, because you already know you're going to SFR. Like there's just no doubt. Like
it's like,
once you go, you're done. Like you're going every
Yeah.
year. Like you're just going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So
One
and
time
that's
my
how it feels
work-
about the incentive trips
one
too.
time my work didn't give me time off to go to something that I wanted to. So less than a year later, I had quit my job. I was like, new goal, retire yourself from corporate life before you hit 40. And then I did it 2 years early. Maybe a little earlier than I should, but I was like, I'm done with you. So I'm done with you.
Do you guys
Let's-
have any questions about this personal promotions line? Okay.
All
makes
right.
sense.
All right, next up, so this is for being paid at specific ranks. So with this one, you don't have to be paid at your own title. This is for whatever title you get paid at, you get points for that.
Mhm.
So I will be completely transparent right now. I am a star director by title. However, I've not been paid at title this entire year because our second director leg has had some trouble hitting their numbers. So I know in my plan, I planned on hitting director for the next 6 months. So that's 6,000 points where, yeah, it would have been 1,500 a month, but like I can either focus on those 500 points that I'm missing per month, or I can focus on the 6,000 that I can still get with director and figure out, okay, so what am I going to do instead? So that's 500 points a month. So that's 3,000 points over the 6 months that I had last year that I won't have this year. So where am I going to get those from instead? Am I going to sell more? Am I going to sponsor more? What am I going to do to make those points up?
Mhm.
So it's just finding that balance and still focusing on like the stuff that you do have,
Mhm.
not like the stuff that you don't.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. You know, my title says superstar director, but I haven't been paid a superstar director since last fall, which is fine. It's no big deal. Things happen like that all the time. Do I feel like I'll probably get paid at star director? Yeah. So I say, okay, I estimate director this month, probably star director these 2 months, maybe superstar director this month, then maybe back to star director. So you just kind of gauge where you think you're going to be. And then, yeah, I'm going to have to make some points up. So guess what? If I have to make up 4,000 points for not being paid at my actual title for a few months in a row, that's the more people I need to sponsor and try to certify. Or I need to work with my team and try to get them to get to where they want to go to in turn, you know, help everybody. So
Yeah. And again, that doing those things and helping those teammates will, again, maybe
help
you'll
you.
get paid at your
Yeah.
title, or you'll promote to a new title,
Mhm.
all of those things. It's focusing on helping everybody else to reach their goals is what really just makes all the boats rise.
And
like,
it
everybody
reminds
just
me
rocks
of-
it together.
What was it? Jennifer Anderson's training she did on one of the refresh, refocus, whatever
Mhm.
groups. I can't remember which group she did it on, but she said her business 100% changed. I think it was Jennifer Anderson. She said her business 100% changed when she quit focusing on herself and she just focused. Like she
Yeah,
knew
that
that
was Jennifer
things,
Anderson like
yeah.
2 weeks ago. in the
Yeah,
last
she's
Zoom
like,
session.
I
Yep.
know I can control my PRV. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
But she said, I put more of a focus on my people and the leaders that I knew I needed to grow.
Yeah.
And then everything fell in place. So, I mean, if you focus on, look at your team, see who's in it to win it, see who's ready to go, work with those people.
Yeah.
And that's how you're gonna
Yeah.
see it just happen.
Yeah, I'm always reminded what Orville said once was that like 20% of your people will do 80% of the work. So
Mhm.
focus 80% of your attention on that 20%.
It's
of the
so
people.
true.
Like
It's so true.
work with those that want to work with you.
Yeah.
That's why I go into like, don't set goals for people and then like, all right, I'm going to help this person at lead consultant. And this person is like not even working their business. Right. So
Mhm.
it's that like help them to get where they want to be. And that will bring you to where you want. Do we have questions about the getting paid at rank? We're clear with the like, so if you're a superstar consultant, you get paid at lead, you'll get 100.
You still
that
get the
month,
points.
and this goes monthly. So this is like, if you're a lead consultant and you're paid at title for 6 months, you would have 600 points. Or like that. That's easiest math there. All right. So now we get into sponsoring points. You know, they're sponsoring because they have a little star there. So if you have any frontline consultants who joined prior to this previous week, so July 31st or earlier, and they haven't certified yet, and they do certify within the incentive trip period, everything we talk about is always within that 6 months. You will get 250 points. So this includes reinstatements. So if somebody reinstates and they have only ever been an essential consultant, they've never hit certified ever, they can have sold 999 PRV underneath somebody else and reinstate under you, like this month, whatever, within the 6 months, and sell that one extra PRV, and you will get those 250 points. And again, all these sponsoring points go by frontline. So those are people that you personally sponsor. Rolled up consultants will count as well, but they need to roll up to you first, then promote either like that month or a 4th month. So if they, yes,
What exactly is certified?
when you hit 1,000 lifetime PRV. So
you'd be a perfect example of that for Esther, but
Okay,
so you joined before August 1st
28, okay.
and I don't believe you have certified quite yet. You're getting close.
I am over the 500. I
Yep.
actually I've never earned in any other company. And I got the shooting circuit.
That's awesome.
Day.
Yeah. So you're a perfect example of
I'm so sad.
someone who will certify, you'll probably certify this month.
Yeah.
So you'll
I'm
probably
hoping
certify
to.
this month when you get your 1,000 lifetime. You sold
Okay.
your first 1,000 in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And you joined before the incentive period
Mhm.
started. So then Esther will get 250 points because you certified.
Cool.
And when you certify,
you will get
you will get
1,000
points.
So it's like,
Mhm.
you get points, you get points.
Everybody
everybody
gets
gets
points.
You get some points, and you get some points, and you get some points, but we get nothing. Like, we get nothing. We're just here to tell you. So yeah, and okay, so we talked about rolled up consultants. Also, like, say if, for example, you had a consultant reinstate with you and maybe they were certified before, but their highest title they've ever hit was certified. And
Mhm.
during the trip incentive period, they reinstate with you and they end up promoting to lead,
You
you
get
will
that.
get
1,000 points.
but it's where we have to check their highest title, and we're going to go into that once I get into like the reporting stuff, because you do have access to that on Workstation to be able to see when someone reinstates with you, you can see what their highest title was. You have the ability to see that. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a data nerd. So next up is anyone you bring on after August 1st and between January 31st that they're a new recruit, they've never been with Sensi before, and they reach certified, you will get 1,000 points for helping them reach that. They also get 1,000 points, plus they would get their 1,000 points from PRV. So like they would have 2,000 at
Mhm.
least. So it's just that, like, again, Oprah points. It's like Oprah points. Like I always look at it in my head, I'm like, okay, they're gonna certify, so I get 1,000 points, but like they're
They
gonna get
get-
at least 2,000
Yeah.
points. So like I'm to them, I'm like, all right, if you hit this, then like you're gonna get all of these points for this, and then you're also gonna get 1,000 points, and then you're gonna get this, and like it just like gets everybody kind of going together, right? So those are the two for certified. Then your other title promotions. This was something newer last year. Before we would only get top
Mhm.
points for someone who promoted to lead and star.
Mhm.
But and now they also have added superstar and director as well. So you as the sponsor would get 1,000 points for each of your frontline people for each of those titles. So if you have somebody who joins, perfect example is Alaska. I earned Alaska by like I have exactly, I think, the amount of points. And on October 30th last year, I did not know how I was going to get my last 3,000 points. I had 1,500 points from, I think, people who were previously like the 250 at a time. So I got to that and I'm like, I have nobody lined up. Like all of my people promoted during the pandemic. And then last year weren't necessarily even being paid a title, let alone being close enough, but their goals weren't lining up to promote. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get these last 3,000 points. Well, I kept talking to people. I kept having recruiting conversations. I ended up having a girl joining on Halloween. She hit certified during November, then also hit lead. And then I had someone else join that I was doing a party for, and we flipped our party. And then she, the next month after, ended up certifying. So that was my last 3,000 points. I went from having absolutely no prospects, like there's no way I'm going on this trip, to like I had earned it. And I was like, so like never give up,
Mhm.
always be
And that was in
adjusting.
October.
That was in October. So
Mhm.
August, September, October, I was a full halfway into this.
Wow.
And like had no prospects of like, have no idea how this is going to happen. So that things just kind of fall into place. I kept having those conversations, had someone eager to join. She joined, ended up rocking it, had someone join her like as well. And And then had another one that we flipped her party. And then she continued the next month and certified like with that as well. And it can come out of nowhere sometimes. So that's why when we talk about the trip incentive plan, which I have your worksheets that we're going to do, it's like, it's a work in progress always, right? It's like, okay, well, I didn't hit this one, but we can
There's
get some
always
extra points here.
places you can
Or
make it
like,
up.
I got this one here, so like maybe let's raise our goals. There's lots of stuff that you can just work with and adjust within it, which is super duper fun. Okay, so I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I wanted to show you these because essentially what we're doing here with you, Sensei already sets up for everybody
And this is in your
And-
incentives tab.
in the incentive tab. So if you go into workstation, incentives, and then how to earn, these are all in here. And there's also like these ones. So there's one for each title. So you can look at based on where your starting title is. So my starting title is certified, lead, star. And this is like Sensei essentially saying, here's how you can earn a trip for one and breaking it down. Now, you don't have to do exactly what they break that way that they break it down. And that's why you're going to make your own trip plan and that kind of thing. But this is just showing you an example of
The
how you
ideas.
can get there, broken down into points. And they are helping you shoot for a trip for one, which I mean, a trip for two is amazing, but my encouragement to you is start with one. Like start with one and go from there, because had I been mad at myself the first trip that like, oh, but I wanted a trip for two, like it's hard to celebrate the trip for one when you're shooting for something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like
Start with yourself, because you
Start
are
with yourself.
You are the main person who needs
Yeah.
to go.
And
So
when you go on that trip and your customers see you on that trip and your teammates see you on that trip, it's just going to grow things even more, right? You're going to make connections like this wonderful thing and get to meet all wonderful people like you. Not saying you're going to go do some training, but just the experiences that you have there and just the greatness that comes from your business is like, it's worth every little bit of it. So I just wanted to show these so that you can refer to them in Workstation. Okay, so we wanted to make sure that you know that you can do absolutely anything you set your mind to. How though? You need to make a plan. I mean, you could fly by the seat of your pants, but like normally if you plan it, I know I had, I think one person last year take me up on like doing a Zoom with me to do an incentive trip plan, like we're doing this today. And she was on that ship with me. So perfect example of like when you know what you're shooting for and you're working towards those goals, we're
like, 5 days in.
You're much more likely to reach goals that are set as targets and you work towards, right? So I think if I click on this,
Look
You know,
at
I love
that.
so I will be dropping this. This is the spreadsheet version of what you have printed out. I will be dropping the link to that in the group, so you can have this as well. Or if this scares you, don't pretend it doesn't exist. You have your piece of paper. You can use that, or you can just go in here and print. Like, and you can do that. So
But that's the one you made where you can fill in your stuff.
yeah, you can fill it in.
Auto
Adds it all
populates
up
for
for
you.
you.
Which
It
is,
does.
I know, right?
Yeah, and another
Her brain,
thing-
I don't understand anything she did, so I'm just excited to like even.
I promised last year I had it all in spreadsheet form and like was like doing a Zoom with like my team. Like I use my SSD's team group as my own. I'm like I could train my people or I can train all of us. So I did it in there and I was asked not to train the spreadsheets anymore because I scared everybody. And I was like, but what? It's so easy. And then so I was like, okay, I won't do this anymore. So the spreadsheet is there should you choose to use it. But you do not have to, because we have printed goodness for you. And I'm going to also, I think I can. I want to spotlight my other self.
They're seeing this on their big screen right now, though, right?
They're seeing
Yeah.
exactly that.
Yeah.
But we're going to, I'm the host. I want to spotlight.
Oh, I see what you did. Yeah. Yeah, the lighting's terrible. What if I
Hold on,
flashlight it?
maybe. but last time I had to, is it because I'm sharing my screen? Maybe, hold on. Stop share, pause share, stop share.
This is sugar, that's, I don't.
Okay, so
The other stuff. is
add spotlight. There we go. Okay, now we are good. All right, so for those playing the home game, hold on, let me grab from here. Just for those in the Zoom right now. So that they can play
Awesome.
along.
Dog barking in the background of the video.
It's life. That's life. Here we go. Okay, so for those who are watching from home, you also have the link to this. And okay, we got this on the screen. We can see this here. What do you see? No, why don't you see what I want you to see?
But it
You
looks like
should-
everybody else does. Well, let's ask the chat. What do you
Yeah.
see?
What do you see right now?
Yeah, in the chat, tell me if you see that.
Do you see two?
Do you see Karen and then do you see a white piece of paper? Let me know in the chat. Please.
Wait, I should be able to tell on here. I don't even know.
Yes, they see it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we got here for those looking, so it just has what you have, and then essentially everything we just went through. Oh, that's way easier to see on this. All throughout there. So you also have this other trusty sheet that this is your sheet that you're going to set your team goals on, or set your goals based on your team's goals. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I should have done that first. Hold, please. I should have done that before the spotlight. Let me log into workstation. Okay, so first I'm going to share my screen.
I wonder if I should move some of this stuff.
Zoom. And share screen. So I am going to share. Okay, so when you go into workstation, you can do start downline report. So I'm going to essentially teach you how to make a custom report very easily. Very, very easily. So when you go in, you click start downline report. That's where you're going to essentially start with all of your information.
And if you guys want to do this along with her on your phone, feel free.
Yes, you
Then
can
you
if you'd
can
like.
Do it.
So I'm not going to run a downline report just because we're recording this and I don't want all my people's names and stuff to show up. So I had already deleted it. So when you go, actually, what did I do? I think I did downline ID, no names. There we go. Okay, so I blocked the names out of them. So this choose visible columns button here, you can select, this is what's already showing, and these are all the things that you can add. So I had, oh, it's on my phone. So I had gone in and added and removed many things. Like, I'm gonna just go this way because I'm like, I had a screenshot of everything that I added, but it's on my phone. We're using my phone right now. So you're gonna want to go in, and what I did first is I ran my downline report. You're gonna use downline, not leadership. The reason being, at least for me, I set up all of my reports as downline because the reports that are already there originally from Sensi, like your sensational start, your essential to certified, those reports are only set up for your team. And I like to treat my entire group as my front line. I'm here to help. If you want to work with me, you can work with me. I don't care if you're down my line, like my 7th level, whatever it is. If you want to work with me, cool. So I like when I run reports, I like to be able to see everybody. So that's why I always use downline. It's something that there won't be a difference in your workstation right now, but come once you promote and you have directors branch off underneath you, that is when you'll be like, oh, I should have listened to Karen. Just trust me. Trust me, because we hit Star Director the first month of COVID. I had 4 directors branch off and I had reports for nobody. I was like, how do I do my job? So what I added in, so I went in first and I removed all of them. And then in this column, I went in and I started adding things. And what I added was LVL is level. So that is essentially what you see here on the left. So 0 is yourself. 0.1 is your frontline. So that's essentially how you're going to tell from this report who is your frontline. I also add highest title achieved. That's another one you can search through on here to find. That is an important one for anyone that is reinstated. Oh yeah, there's so much stuff. Like I actually have a report that I just added everything and then I exported it to a spreadsheet and I can just filter for what I want. Like I have a report set up for everything. So if you're like me and you like to data things, this is going to be very helpful for you. I added lifetime PRV as well. So say, for example, person's highest title achieved is essential consultant. From that lifetime PRV, I can see how close they are to hitting certified. So that's why I add that in there. Then title would give you their current title. Group will tell you if they've recruited anybody, same as team. So when I'm looking to work with people and talk about their goals, I can see, okay, they're a certified consultant. They have a group of 1 and a team of 1. So that means it's just themselves. They haven't recruited anybody, or if they have, they've rolled out. So they don't currently have a team with them. So this is the information that I like to have for the conversations with them to help them hit their goals. So group and team. Then I add in the will terminate and lose downline. Mostly because, again, if I look and someone has 950 PRV lifetime and they're an essential consultant and I'm like, oh, they could totally certify, but they're set to terminate. Like, I know they're not working their business. They haven't been active in 12 months. Like it was just another column to like help me out. Same with the lose downline one. So I know if in my head, my goal for them is to promote, but they're about to lose their downline because they haven't been working their business in the last 4 months. Then there's that, right? Admit. So we added those 2, and then I add PRV. It's still super early in the month, so that doesn't really show much, but for later on in the months and when I use this report in the future, I can tell essentially if that person is working their business that month. So if it's October and they have 0 PRV, I'm like, okay, well, you're not necessarily working your business this fall because it's kind of hard to have 0 PRV in October.
So you put PRV and lifetime, so you can see what they've done cumulative and you can see what they do month to month.
Yes, because come like 3 weeks from now, when I'm more towards the end of the month, and I'm getting into more of the conversations with the people that I don't really know if they've been working their business or that kind of thing, I can tell from that PRV column if they're actively working this. It just gives me, I like to have all the information in front of me. And then projected title and projected rank, I just left on there because I was like, can't hurt. So that is what I've got on there. I can also add like a screenshot of the list. So in the team or in the event page, I can add a screenshot of this as well for those who are playing the home game here and watching the recording, or if you aren't doing it on your phone and following along. So essentially when you're done, you would hit OK, and then this is what you will have generate. It will probably be in a different order. I am just like super nerdy and wanted it in a specific order. So I like, you can just take the columns. Hold on. You can take these and like drag them to where you want. It looks really ugly a lot of times, but I got it nice and spaced. So when you do that, before you go over here and hit save, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on level right in the heading here and click it again until the 0 is at the top, and you would be the first person to show. Normally you would have, oh, sorry, you're going to want their name on here as well. I just didn't put it because we're recording this in privacy. That's I used to work in HR. So I'm like, that's the privacy HR in me. Because like we're gonna upload this to YouTube and let people share it and stuff. So you would also want their name. So I have their name in like my actual report. So everyone on here with a 0.1 is all going to be your front line. So that's who you're going to focus on, at least in the beginning for your first conversations to set your goals for your promotions. Now, you can also go further and work with, your level 2. So your level 2 is essentially, I sponsored someone, they sponsored someone, that person is my level 2 because they're 2 people away from me. That I'm like, yeah, like it seems confusing, but look on the thing, and the ones that say 0.1s, those are where you're going to get points if they promote. Now, working with the other people, I also encourage as well, because helping those people will help the other people above them, and then everybody goes together, right? And that's one of the reasons that I work with every single person in our group, and even people outside my group. Hi, all of you. Because I just want to see everybody succeed. Like if you want it and you have the fire, I'm here to help. Like happy to help as much as I can. So this is where you're going to pull your names and all of that kind of stuff for this sheet here. So you've got your current title, your highest title. I mean, if your people have the same current title as highest title, you don't really have to fill both of them in. Like it's just whatever you want. Again, my nerdness exports the other one and transposes it into here, but that probably just got a lot of people confused. So I'm not doing that today. I'm not confusing anybody. So as you have that information, you can fill out this landscape one. This would kind of be something you would probably fill out at home as you talk to them. Personally, in mine, let's go back to my beautiful spotlight I had set up and then lost. Oh, it's still there. Hopefully that's still there. For those watching at home, if you can make sure, Amy, you were so helpful last time. Can you see both of the screens again? Hopefully you can. So where's mine that I did?
Yes.
Yay! Thank you. So personally, what I do is I go through, I add all of this information, and then I block out the stuff where I can't get points. So essentially where they've already promoted. So that I'm just a visual person. I like to see it all. This beautiful purple thing is goals that my teammates have already achieved. So Karen, you get no points there. So I like the visual aspect of it, and then being able to fill things in between of that. And again, oh, hey.
You got a lot of certified.
The document is only view only. Am I allowed to download it? So Amy, what you'll want to do in Google Docs is just go file, make a copy, and it will copy it over to your own Google Docs so that you can input information into it. If spreadsheets do not scare you, if spreadsheets do scare you, you can just print it like we did here. You're welcome. Okay, I said I wasn't going to confuse anybody. Am I confusing anybody yet? No?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, okay, listen, you started like
Excited.
yesterday, so you're allowed to be confused. I would be more worried if you weren't confused right now, because you are like brand new.
Yeah. Brand
new. So you are expected to be confused. You're allowed. Yeah. Yeah. So your stuff, whereas we're looking at teammates we already have, you're going to be going future teammates, where I get into, I want to actually go there. So like I get into in here, I'm like new teamie 1, new teamie 2, and like fill those things out with like my projected new teammates too, because I'm like looking at the people that I do have. I haven't talked to them yet to have them set their goals out. I just added a couple previously hitting sponsor just because like I know the trajectory that they're on, and like they're working their business. They either just joined or they've got the momentum so that they're going to hit it. But everybody else, I still have to talk to about their goals. So those are not in there yet. That's your phone is dying.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
Is there
Okay.
gonna be a problem if my phone dies?
nope, not at all. I turned off your screen, so it'll save your battery. Okay, so essentially through this beauty here, you're gonna go through and first fill out your monthly sales. So I have, because this is set out as a calculating spreadsheet. Well, this is fun to try to point to. So this actual PRV, like as I go through the months, I fill that out and then it will add into this points earned column. That is if you are using it as a spreadsheet. For today, we are just planning so you can put your goals through there. So depending on what you're going to think, if you've been around for a fall already, you can look at your numbers from last year. You can look at your normal trajectory, whatever you want to do, whether you're just starting out and you're like, well, I'm going to shoot for that 1,000 every month so you can get those 2,500 bonus. You can fill out all of these things and then add them up. The zeros that are already in there, it's just because I have it set up to total it in the spreadsheet. So on the written copy or the printed copy, you're just going to write over those zeros. That's essentially your total spot. So you would fill that out there. Your PRV consistency, if you're planning to do 1,000 PRV, at least 5 of the 6 months, then you can add that 2,500 into your thing. So let's go. I'm just going to copy mine that I already did. So August, we're going to shoot for 2,000. Need my chicken scratch here. September, 3,000. October, I am a big PRV person, so like don't compare. I have a lot. And then this is 16,000. So that is essentially just how you fill it out. And again, that's based on your own. Like if you normally sell 200 PRV a month, setting a 2,000 PRV goal is quite lofty. It is doable, but it is a big goal. So again, what we say, like what you aim for is what you can earn, right? So then based on this, because you would have more than 1,000, you would get that 2,500 bonus as well. I know I am definitely making it a priority to go to world tour. So adding that 500 in there. Then personal promotions, I go through and just like the other ones, I made mine purple in my actual thing because I obviously can't plan to earn any of these points because I have earned them. And like, as much as I want to say like, yeah, we're going to hit Superstar Director this fall. Maybe next fall, maybe next fall, but we're going to keep doing the actions and working towards the things that will rise all the boats and get us there eventually. And as I mentioned before, although I am a star director, I most likely will be paid at director for the 6 months. So that's 6,000. So you're going to multiply, like whether, if you think you're going to be at the same title all 6 months, you're going to multiply that by 6. Or if you think you're going to be different ones, you're going to fill it out per month. But remember that you've got 6 months to fill out in there. So then that's essentially, I like to call these the points you can somewhat control. Although the activity bonus, like your paid up rank stuff is somewhat out of your control, but you can tell based on previous months or last year or those kind of things. And then down here at the bottom is your sponsoring stuff, but that is going to come from this beautiful sheet. And on the spreadsheet version of this, if you go to the second tab and you fill out the sponsoring stuff and you add in the numbers for the promotions, it will add and pull into this sheet at the bottom where all those zeros are. So that's magical. So if you look at mine, for example, I filled it out on my other sheet. Whoa, here we go. So it automatically calculated in here. And then all of these things automatically calculate. And then at the top, it all adds in as well and shows, ba-bam, you earned a trip. Yep. What you got?
I do spreadsheets.
You do spreadsheets?
Out for COVID.
Yeah, so you're gonna like plug in the numbers in.
Yeah.
It'll just add all
Yeah.
up for you.
I'm not gonna do spreadsheets.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, there are many different incentive targets. I think there's one you can even print out from Workstation that they've made for us that color things in, and whatever way your brain works to get you there, it doesn't matter. If it's like using the back of this sheet of paper because you're like, Karen, what are you doing here? Like that, whatever works for your brain gets you there. I have learned not to expect everyone to spreadsheet. So spreadsheet is there should you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, you just want to use the backs of these pieces of paper, you can do whatever you like. They're also like, a lot of people will share their own incentive tracker. Everybody has their own way their brain works, right? So that is essentially that there. So like the top parts that I just kind of went through, you could kind of fill out here. Obviously the sponsoring things, you could kind of fill out a little bit, especially if it's based on new teammates, but if you want to, or you could kind of set out where you think your team's going to land and then work with them to see if that matches up and that kind of thing. But yeah, what's the rest of my, I had more PowerPoint, goodness. So this is where we were. It does. Okay. Another amazing resource is on the trip incentive. This is the incentive tab. You got your overview view. There is an actual tracker. So as you go through the months and earn points, that will
And
add
you
on
become
for you.
obsessed with it and check
Oh,
it
yes,
every
you do.
morning.
Yes.
And just know it updates every night.
Yeah.
So it updates like midnight Scentsy time. So you won't notice anything until you wake up in the morning. That's when you'll see everything.
Yeah.
Update every morning.
One thing I have learned though, and one of the reasons why I still do keep an actuals column in this. So in the actual spreadsheet, if you are going, I'm going to talk to you because you are using my spreadsheet. So there's a sponsoring planned tab and then a sponsoring actual tab. So the sponsoring actual tab will pull over everybody's names from the plan tab. And then just as they hit, you can put those numbers in and it'll add into your actuals column. So like I said here, oh, you don't see that anymore, but in your monthly sales section, that actual PRV, where you fill in that number, if you're doing it on the spreadsheet, if I put in, you know, I have what 148 PRV right now for August because I had some Scentsy clubs run this morning. If I put in that 148, it'll go over to my points earned and go 148. And actually, if I went to my tracker right now, it would not show you because I got it today. But tomorrow morning, that will show up on there. But one thing I learned is I encourage you to also track your actuals on your own, because that way you won't depend on the tracker. Because I mean, it's amazing now that Scentsy has the tracker set up for us day one, but we didn't always have that. So sometimes it was like you're a month into an incentive and you're getting a tracker. And I found that I learned best from failing at tracking my own trip incentive points. Because when we fail, we learn. The only time when you actually fail is when you quit. That's what I like to tell you. So I would try to track my own points and they would be wrong. And I'd have to figure out what the difference was between my sheet and Scentsy points. And that's how I figured all of this out, was by screwing it up. I'm like, wait, but I'm supposed to have this many points. Yeah, but I'm supposed to have this many points. Okay, well, why is it wrong? That's my brain though. My brain is like, it's a like problem solving brain. Like, okay, I thought it would be here. It is there. I need to figure this out. I need to figure it out right now.
And another thing too, like to get in the habit of when you start to grow a team. I don't know if you do this, Karen, but I started doing this, tracking your numbers every day. You can see your own PRV, obviously, you know how it's grown, but like your group wholesale volume every day. So then you could be like,
I like it.
oh, look, in this day, we jumped 3K GWB. Oh, why did we do that? Oh, look, we had the launch of the Scooby-Doo. Okay, cool. Now I know LTO days, I might see a big jump. You know, like
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to be able to look back at your month when it's over too, and be like, these are the days that we really jumped, and be able to track that constant.
Yeah.
GWB.
What does LTO mean?
Limited time offering. So like
Okay.
the Scooby-Doo stuff
Yep.
would be an LTO.
Yeah.
Because it's not
Non-catalog.
in the catalog.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anything that's not on clearance. So like clearance is all discontinued stuff and that's not in the catalog. So it would be
Okay.
considered, it's under like that collections tab.
Okay.
Or like the specials that they've done. And we had to add that in because we have those specials the last couple of months, the warmer bundles and stuff. So that'll track your progress. How to earn is essentially all of the stuff that I took today is all, most of it is all screenshots from here. So this is exactly what you're going to see. Then this wonderful FAQ tab. So when you go and you're tracking your own numbers and Scensy's also tracking them for you and those don't add up, I go straight to this FAQ. And this is how I learned what I was doing wrong and how all of this stuff actually worked, is because I'm like, okay, but I thought it was this. So then I start going through and like, I thought I was having 1,000 points here, but I don't. And then I found out, oh wait, that's because like treat everybody like my frontline. I thought they were my frontline, but really they're my like second level because I sponsored their sponsor. But I can you're like, dang it. All right, well, move to the next person, right? Like
Usually every
stuff.
question is in that FAQ. They did a really good job. with
these
that.
FAQs are always amazing,
So-
like all of it. It's all in here all the time. And if it's not, I will be shocked. Exactly. That's essentially what you're doing, right? Is like not saying that Sensi stuff is going to be wrong, just saying like you have an attempt, you have an ability, an opportunity to learn here how it works by making mistakes, which I love. And they're mistakes that aren't going to hurt anybody. What's this? Oh, that was the brick by brick one. So that's over. Nope. Like that takes us right there, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted to just, oh, there we go.
Oh,
This is
yes.
our little ending. I'm like, this is our little ending thing. You can do anything. I mean, I know we talked about like my story a little bit in the beginning to kind of kill some time, but like I said, when I started this, I had no intention of taking it to here. When I said like, oh, I'm going to reach for the beach, I'm going to earn that trip to Mexico. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how I was going to earn points. I just said, yeah, I'm going to do this. I didn't do it, but the next trip incentive, I sure did. So, and also don't wish for it, work for it. It's one of my favorites, but I wish I could earn a trip. And it's like, well, it's because you're wishing for it. But when you sit down, you make a plan, you break it down into little chunks and little monthly goals. It's not scary. Or at least you tell me, does it seem as scary now? Like, you can be honest and be like, Karen, you scared the shit out of me. Like, like, you can be honest. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm aware. Listen, I scared everybody with spreadsheets. So
And honestly, the incentives aren't easy, or else everybody would earn them. You
but they're a
know?
lot easier this time.
It is easy, but I mean, yeah, it still takes hard work.
It's attainable.
It is,
Mhm.
exactly, yeah.
There you
And
go.
I think that Sensi lowered those sponsoring points because,
They wanted
they
to
heard us.
everyone to stop
yeah.
moaning about it. I'll be like, okay, well, we lowered them.
I think they did it so more people can earn, and they
Yeah.
can, like,
Everybody say hi to everyone at
they
home.
can, so then more people can
Hello.
hopefully experience it and then work even harder.
They all even brought pens and are taking notes, and they all showed up not only on time, but early. I'm just letting you know this if you are on my team. Because y'all have a very high bar that's been set for our future team nights. All right, now that I'm done scaring everybody at home, if you're watching the replay or watching this with us, thank you. Look at that.
Thank
Bethany, too.
you.
Everybody say, look at these faces because you might see them on the trip with you. I love it. Awesome. Have a good one. Stop the recording.